Today we're going to talk about life is a dream. If we can realize life is actually illusory, we will be awakened, will be enlightened. How are we going to realize this? We have to go deep into the Yogacara teaching school of Buddhism, which is consciousness only. We're going to look at this diagram to realize life is really a dream. This big rectangle symbolizes the Alaya consciousness. It also symbolizes our universe. The big circle inside is our body. So how is this Alaya consciousness create the entire universe and our body? The world is made up by our mind. The mind functions in terms of the six sense organs, come in contact with the sixth sense object, creates the sixth sense consciousnesses. In the middle is the sixth consciousness. Our eyes come in contact with sights, develop the eye consciousness. Our ears come in contact with sounds, develop the ear consciousness. Our nose comes in contact with smells, develop the nose consciousness. Our tongue comes in contact with taste and develop tongue consciousness. Lastly, our body comes in contact with tactile touch, develop the body consciousness. They all have to work with the intellectual mind, the sixth consciousness. The mind consciousness help the five consciousness that goes out to the world. So it tells us what to think. When we see, when we hear, when we smell, when we taste, when we touch, you will have greed, anger, or ignorance out of this situation. The mind consciousness, its organ, is actually the seventh consciousness. This is our ego. Therefore, our mind always think in terms of the self, because the organ that it's based on is the manas, a strong ego. Our thoughts is full of the ego. That's why we're always creating reincarnation. The sense object of our sixth consciousness is called the Dharma. Why is our thoughts called Dharma? It's actually the shadow cast in our mind of the five sense objects. With your eyes, with your ears, with your nose, with your tongue, with your body. You remember it. It becomes your thoughts. How is the world created? The mind come in contact with the sixth sense object, started having emotional ups and downs based on our life situation. We create wholesome and unwholesome karma. It will perfume into karmic seeds and store back in the Alaya consciousness. Seeds will create new seeds. The new seeds will become activities, then it will create the world. Here we have the world. Here we have our body. Our world is made up of our collective karma. Our body is made up of our individual karma. All these are from karmic seeds in our Alaya consciousness, coming into volitional activity. It creates the physical existence. The world is made out of two kinds of collective karma. Common karma within common karma. We all commonly experience the mountains, the river, and the tree that we see here. That's our common karma. There's also uncommon within the common. That's like my house. It's uncommon to you because you don't live in my house. Therefore, it's uncommon within common. What about my body? There's two parts as well. Common within uncommon. When you see my body, it's uncommon to you because it's my body. But there is common within uncommon because you do see my superficial organs. We also have uncommon within the uncommon. That's my internal pure form organs. You do not know how I see the world. You see my eyeball, you see the shape, you see what it looks like, but you do not feel how I feel. You do not see how I see. So now you look at the world. You understand everything is a dream. It's only karmic seeds ripen into the physical existence. We call it form or phenomena. Therefore, the world is only cause and condition, karma based on your karmic seeds. If we keep being caught up in your life situation based on your sixth sense organ, you will never get out of the reincarnation or samsara. It's all creation of your mind. Buddha teaches consciousness school of Buddhism for us to wake up from this dream. Realize this is only a dream. Then the alaya consciousness turns into wisdom. That is our true Buddha nature. Everybody has original enlightenment. So how do we realize that this is a dream? We have a verse from the 7 prior Buddhas. The 4 elements are taken as the provisional body. The horizon mind manifests as the objects unfold. Without the previous objects, the mind is unobtainable. Thus, evil and good arising and cease as illusion. The 4 elements, earth, fire, water, and wind, makes up of our body. Having a strong ego because we're attached to the body and the mind. First is telling us we think this body made out of the 4 elements is the real self, but it's actually not. It's only conditional arising from the 4 elements. Earth is your bones, fire is your temperature, water is your blood and saliva, and wind is your breathing. All these are conditional. That's why you will get sick, you will die. It's all impermanent, it's all a dream. The horizon mind manifests as the objects unfold. Little do we know that we only go through this because we are attached to the sixth sense objects. If there's no object of the pretty woman, you would not have a mind of lust. If there is not a person yelling at me, I will not be angry. Our emotion is based on the outside situation. You will never be enlightened if you react to everything that's happening to you as an egotistic person. Without the previous objects, the mind is unobtainable. If there's no object, our mind is unmoved. It's the Buddha nature. But because of outside situation, your mind is always in turmoil, always agitated. That's why you're never enlightened. Your happiness, your sorrow is all because your attachment to what's happening to you. All you have to do is to have a sudden enlightenment that life is really a dream. That's the only thing you need to know. You will naturally let go of what's happening to you. Thus, evil and good arising and cease as illusion. Or our negative karma, or our good karma. It's only condition arising. It never really rise or cease. It's actually only things happening in this big rectangle. So how do we further understanding this dream? We need to delve deep into the 4 divisions of the mind. All 8 consciousness have 4 divisions. The first division is called the form division, which is the objects outside, our life situation. The theme division is the subject, the thinking mind, that's discriminating the life situation. These 2 always make us think in terms of the object and subject. You're always living in duality. How can you be enlightened if all your thought is like and dislike, good and bad, or love and hate, you never wake up from this dream. The third division is the self-witnessing division. What if there's something inside that does not depend on the outside situation? The subject and object, they always go together. But you actually don't have to use the seeing division, egotistic sixth consciousness, because you actually have a self-witnessing division inside. This division, when it sees, when it hears, when it smells, it's actually non-conceptual knowledge. It's unmoved by whatever you smell, you hear. You will not move in your mind. That is noble wisdom. Aligning with our suchness is to be mindful when we see, when we hear, when we talk. We know that we shouldn't use the egotistic mind of the seeing division. We should use the internal self-witnessing division, the true substance of your mind, basically the alaya consciousness before it's moving. So you can say the seeing division is like the sixth consciousness. The self-witnessing division is like the eighth consciousness. And what is this witnessing division? It's actually your true Buddha nature. Witnessing the self-witnessing division. When you are facing life situations, you are not having emotional ups and downs because of the dramas of your life. You are going inward to your true nature. We call it the fully accomplished nature. In the other dependent nature of this world, the whole entire universe, you do not use the fully conceptualized nature, which is your discriminating mind, your seeing division, your sixth consciousness. You use the witnessing division. You're always staying with your true suchness, your Buddha nature. Everybody can do this. I have 3 conclusions from this analysis. First, the dream is empty. Your life is only things happening in a dream. Do not take it too seriously. We call it gaming samadhi. It's like a game. You just do the best that you can in this dream. Live the best life you can, but do not have too much emotional ups and downs because of the struggles of your life. Number 2, since there's existence in the emptiness, we still want to have a sweet dream. You can have a wonderful life in this lifetime. Treat everybody with loving kindness and compassion. You can be a bodhisattva to all your family members, your co-workers, and everybody around you. Number 3, wake up from the dream. That's actually the best way to live. As Yongja Master said, in our dreams, we see the 6 realms of reincarnation clearly. After we awake, the entire universe is empty. To you, life is so real. But when you are awakened, there's actually only emptiness. Emptiness and existence. When you balance the two, that is the middle way. That is the only way to live. When Buddha was alive, there was a woman named Upalavena. She was very beautiful. Her first husband, he was a rich businessman. So when she was pregnant with her daughter, the husband had an affair with her mother. When she found out, she was devastated. She gave birth to her daughter, then she left. 18 years later, she married another wealthy businessman. He treated her very well, but one day he went on a business trip. He came back with another woman. She is 18 years old and she has a birthmark on her body. She realized, this is my daughter from my first marriage. After these 2 incidents, she decided to just live a life of prostitution. She did it for a long time, seducing a lot of men. One day, she saw a monk. She went to him and started seducing him. This monk, his name is Mod Galyayana. He's actually foremost in supernatural power among Buddha's disciples. He said, "How dare you try to seduce me? Do you know that this body of yours is impure, impermanent, and it's non-self? Why don't you try to cultivate and be enlightened?" She totally transformed and became the first nun in Buddha Sangha. Later, she became an arhat and was also foremost in supernatural power among all the nuns. So what is it telling us? The tragedies, the drama, it's all things happening in a dream. You can have an enlightenment anytime when you realize it's actually impermanent and non-self. It's really a dream. So that's the class for today. Thank you so much for listening. Amitabha.